All right, let's go ahead and move on. Up next, we have the Colts, who are 4-5, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 2-6. The Jags are home dogs by 10, and the over/under is 47.5. Now, the Jaguars' defense ranks in the top 10 in points per game and total yards per game allowed since Week 6, and have won 2 of their last 3 games. And actually, their run D has been relatively sound all year. The Jaguars have allowed 3.8 yards per carry this season, third fewest in the NFL. Derrick Henry is the only player with 100 plus rush yards versus Jacksonville. Granted, that could be because teams are just throwing the ball, but realistically, that would play into the opposite argument. If teams are up, they should be able to run the ball on you, and Jacksonville has just kind of stood their ground. Meanwhile, on the Colts side of the ball, they have been on a correction of their own. They started out their season 0-3 and then won 4 of their last 6, thanks in large part to Jonathan Taylor, who has already put up 821 yards and 8 touchdowns on this year so far. The home team has won the last 7 meetings between the Colts and the Jaguars. And of course, in this week's matchup, it is going to be hosted in Indianapolis. So, Jake, what do you think is going to happen? Colts, Jags.
Another very interesting game just because of the line on this. That 10 line, I mean, yeah, Jaguars just beat the Bills last week. Again, calling that an anomaly. But if you look at the Colts also on Thursday night last week, they had Josh Johnson come in, a third string quarterback for the Jets, and he had 100 plus QBR rating and almost got them back into the game where they almost backdoored the spread on that. Trevor Lawrence is coming off of an ankle injury. It looks like he's going to be able to play in this one. It's a low ankle sprain, so he's going to be kind of hobbled and hurt a little bit. But if Carson Wentz can play on 2 ankle sprains, then I'm sure he wants to show just how tough Trevor Lawrence is as well too. So I think Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I went back and forth on the spread a lot. I think just because I don't trust the Colts in closing out teams, which is why I went back and forth. I'm going to take the Colts on this one. I think they're a better team. I think Jonathan Taylor, even though the Jags are really good against the run, Jonathan Taylor is just on another level right now and really coming into his own and showing why he is that dominating running back that everybody thought he was going to be coming out of the draft. I also like Pitty City a lot. Michael Pittman in this game. Carson Wentz, also, if you need a streaming quarterback, I love him this week. I think he's a great streamer. I'm very excited for him. On the Jag side, that's a tough matchup right there. I know that the Colts rank in the top defenses against fantasy running backs, but with James Robinson coming back, and I know without Trevor Lawrence's mobility, he's definitely going to have to dump it off a lot. I like James Robinson a lot. I also like Dan Arnold in this one. If you need a streaming tight end, I don't mind that Dan Arnold play at all. But yeah, I'm going to take the Colts. I'm going to take the under in this one. 47.5 seems like a lot to me. I just don't see, excuse me. I just don't see the Jags being able to score a lot against the Colts. So I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the Colts to cover. A little reluctant on that line. I'll probably end up teasing the Colts down in a parlay of mine. But yeah, that's where I'm at on that game.
I would say that I completely agree with you on the under and all of your fantasy options. That line is what gets me. I'm just so reluctant to back the Colts when the Jags were able to just hold the Bills offense to just 6 points. Granted, the Colts were just able to put up 45 points on Thursday Night Football last week, so obviously they're an explosive team, but I don't think that they will do that in back-to-back games. I don't think that they're able to carry this over on their own. I think that the Jags are going to hang in there and keep it a little bit closer. Even though I don't trust the Jags offense, I do trust their defense pretty well. And I do trust James Robinson, even though he's coming back from injury. He's just kind of that go-to guy that everyone really was hoping that he would be coming into the season besides Urban Meyer for some reason. So, um, so I'm going to take the Jags and go ahead and have that cushion of 10 points and see how that works out for me. But other than that, I completely agree with your analysis, dude. Thank you for listening to this little highlight of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you want to follow along to other games, here's a playlist for you. If you want to listen to the show in its entirety, show links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.